Hello and welcome to another Doctor Who figure review. Yesterday I'll be looking at the 11th Doctor collector's set, part of the B&M lineup for 2018. Now the reason I'm reviewing this so early is because I just want to get it over and done with, so we can sort of end more on a high and look at some more exciting sets, because this set does have a drawing factor in the sense that if you didn't get the Impossible set back in 2014, you can get your hands on the Snowman 11th Doctor and Oswin Oswald. But the other figure sets do have more of an exciting drawing factor because these are subtle changes, repaints, whereas the other figure sets like the 1970s one, you know, we have the Talons of Wayne Chiang, Tom Baker, and the 12th Doctor one has Bill Potts. So they have more of a drawing factor and a bit more excitement around them, whereas these are just subtle repaints and don't really have that wow factor like the others. So the way this video is going to work is I'm going to show you the packaging, then look at the figures individually, do articulation, detail, all that kind of things, and I will do a comparison on the 11th Doctor and the Oswin Oswald figure from the Impossible set back in 2014. So taking a look at the packaging for the 11th Doctor collector set, again we have the scale collector series, the Doctor Who logo, what the set is there, and again what the set includes with the 11th Doctor, Amy Pond and Oswin Oswald, and we have the figures there displayed rather nice in this window box, which makes it rather compact compared to the old B&M packaging. As you can see, it was very spaced out, and now we've gone for the more compact look, which was rather nice. We have the Doctor Who logo there and the two figures within the set, and then what the set includes and the name of the set. Then we continue the Space Cosmos background with the Doctor Who logo there, and then the prototype images of the figures, and again what the set is and the name of the characters. And for the other side we have the Doctor Who logo there and two of the figures there and the 11th Doctor. So first up I'll be taking a look at Oswin, then we look at Amy Pond, and then the 11th Doctor. So if we start off with Oswin Oswald, so taking a look at head articulation, the head can kind of move, but again it is hindered by the hair, and if you do move it you do get that weird sort of ugly neck gap, which I wouldn't really recommend. So yeah, the head can move ever so slightly. Now the arms are ball jointed, but what I would suggest is if you pinch the top of the bicep arm to lift it up, because obviously when you do lift it you're putting strain on the arm joint there, and obviously over time that will snap off. So I suggest if you want to move the arm, suggest holding the arm there and just lifting it up like so. It does have 360 at the bicep. We do have elbow articulation, but by doing that we do get the paint being removed off the joint itself, which is a bit of a problem, and the arm does move 360. As you can see, the paint just flicked off there on camera. We do have waist articulation, but is hindered by the dress because it is done on this sort of rubbery PVC. The legs do kick out but are hindered by the dress and can move ever so slightly outward. Eye articulation, which can do full 360-degree turn, bend at the knee, and we do have 360 at the foot. Taking a look at the detail, I have to say that my Oswin Oswald figure looks okay. It actually looks decent. I've seen some really dodgy ones, and this was the last one in the shop, so I didn't really have much choice in the matter of getting this, so I couldn't really check for quality control. So I think that I dodged the bullet there because I've seen some really dodgy Oswin Oswald figures there, but the sculpt, you can definitely tell that it's Jenna Coleman, but again, much like every figure in the collector's series, it does suffer from heavy paint apps. If the paint apps were a little bit thinner, I'm sure we could see a few more detailings on her face, but yeah, done rather nice. The hair is done, again, fantastic, with the sort of dark, a very dark brown as a base coat, and then they've sort of added sort of a brown wash to sort of highlight different hair strands and different sections of the hair. Again, you can see the different hair strands there. Done really well, and obviously the sort of lighter brown really does give that texture and depth. And on the top of her hair you can see the parting of her hair, which is moving down to the actual costume. There's not much you can say about the actual costume because it is essentially rubber. We do have a bit of creasing detail there and a bit of a seam of the dress, and you can definitely tell the colour difference between the dress and the arms. And like I said, if you are going to move the arms, do hold the top there to stop putting stress on the actual joint there. And again, when you do move the elbow, this is a common problem with the collector series Clara and the original Clara. The paint does flake off because obviously it's painted on the joint and it's going to wear off. But this does wear off very quickly, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, like I said, there's not much to say about the main dress. You do have a few creasing details. On the other arm, we do have some creasing details there, which is much the same as the other arm. The only real difference is we have a watch sculpted there, which is done really nice. The belt is a tiny bit different, and I say tiny bit because it's got a different paint app. As you can see, it does have this sort of browny wash, a light brown wash over it to give it that weathered look. You know, you've got her egg whisk, and some of the things haven't really been painted, which I will show you when we do the comparison, but you can just see the faint brown wash on the belt there, which is a nice little detail. So moving down to the bottom, there's not much to say, it's just legs. So if we move to the shoes are done rather nice. You can see her socks poking out. I guess that's the same what they're going to do for the Jodie Whittaker figure, much like they did with that adventure doll. But yeah, we've got the different sort of patterning of the shoes there with the different various reds and the white sole, and we do have the laces painted on, which is a very nice. So for detail wise, the detail is okay. Obviously there's not much going on because the costume is very basic, but the paint apps on the face are pretty good. Now this figure does suffer the same problem as the other Jenna Coleman related figure. So the Oswin figure from the Impossible set, that suffered standing up, but mine was okay. And then the Clara figure, again, that struggled to stand up, and it takes a fair bit of time to try and get it to stand up. And as you can see, she's leaning to one side because it's, for some reason, the figure just doesn't want to stand up. As you can see, it just doesn't want to stand up. So here we have the Oswin Oswald figure. So here we have the Impossible set one there, which is there, and then we have the B&M one. So straight away you can see the different colour in the dress. As you can see, the B&M one is a much darker colour. So if we look at the face sculpt, you can definitely tell a difference in the paint apps. As you can see, they've toned down her lipstick. The hair is a lot darker with this new B&M figure. As you can see, they've really gone to town with the brown hair on the original release, and obviously they've gone for a more darker looking hair. So looking at the belt now, you can really see the sort of brown wash on the B&M one. As you can see, the original had it all painted up to make it look all fancy. Now you may think the belts are different for this, but if I just move the original belt round like so, the belt is exactly the same. What character options have done is they've kind of played a trick on you. They've basically altered the position of the belt to make you think, oh, you've got a new belt, but it is exactly the same. Moving down to the shoes now, you can see that the new B&M Oswin Oswald figure, the shoes are a lot lighter. I'm not exactly sure which Oswin figure I prefer, to be honest. I do prefer the red on the new B&M one, and I do prefer the belt on the original one, just because it's got a bit more colour and a bit more life to it, instead of just having the sort of basic, you know, colour with a brown wash over it. But I think the hair is much better on the original, but I think I personally prefer the toned down face on the new B&M one. Moving on to Amy with articulation. So the head can move side to side, but is hindered by the hair. The arms can do a full 360 degrees. We do have 360 degrees at the bicep, bend at the elbow. We do have arm articulation there, what can do a full 360 degree turn. We do have 360 degrees at the waist. The legs cannot kick out because it is hindered by the skirt, but they can move side to side. We do have thigh articulation, which can do 360 degrees. And we do have bend at the knee. So before I go into detail, this Amy figure is based from her appearance in Let's Kill Hitler. And if I'm going to be honest, the main drawing factor for this set, for me, was this Amy Pond figure. And character options, I will say, have done a decent job for what they have, because obviously this is using the existing Series 5 Amy, which I will compare later on in the video, so you can see the differences in the actual costume itself. But I will say character options have done a very good job with what they've had. Obviously, if I had my way and they were doing retooling and resculpting, I would have preferred to have seen Amy from the Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon with the red checkered shirt. The head sculpt now, my Amy looks a little bit dodgy in terms of her eyes. She looks a bit shifty and like she's seen some things and is scarred for life. But other than that, you know, the face is okay. Like I said before, I didn't really have much choice in looking at quality control because this was the only one in the shop. So taking a look at the hair now, the hair is done rather nice with this sort of orangey brown colour with sort of a black wash over there again to show the sort of different depth and textures of the hair. Again, you can see the strands of hair and how the hair sort of falls on her shoulders there, which again is done really nice. And again, we sort of have the sort of sculpting where you can see where the head, well, the hair plugs into the head. But yeah, done rather nice. So taking a look at the costume now, like I said, this is essentially your Victory of the Daleks Amy Pond figure repainted into the Let's Kill Hitler sculpt. Because obviously the jacket is completely wrong because she wore a denim jacket, so we still have the little brooch sculpted there on her jacket, and obviously the denim jacket didn't have that sort of wool lining there. But I have to say that this being denim, character options have done a really good job of giving that illusion of denim, because it really does show the details on the jacket itself. As you can see, we've got the different seams. You can see the top of the zip there, there's different sort of panelling on the jacket. We've got the sort of elasticated trim of the jacket going all the way around. I have to say, Character Options have just done a really good job with this jacket, because they've obviously given a light blue base coat, then they've given it sort of a brown sort of washes in places and sort of a black wash in other areas to give it that sort of denim look, because denim does vary in colour. And it's done rather nice, especially the arms. You can really see that they've tried to give that sense of depth and shadowing on the arms by sort of giving it that sort of black wash. Hopefully the camera will focus. As you can see there, you really get the sense of depth and so. So I really do like the attention to detail what Character have done to try and hide the fact that this isn't a denim jacket, but they've done a very good job with painting that. We do have her little watch sculpted there, and we do have her necklace again sculpted there. Again, I didn't think she wore a necklace within the actual torso. Now we do have a sort of a light pink top with a sort of a cardigan over the top there, with sort of a light faint detailing there to give the illusion of a pattern. Done rather nice. The belt again done rather nice with different sort of buckles sculpted there, and sort of a little stippling detail there. Again, done rather nice. And again, we do have the pockets sculpted on the back. The legs are essentially just a repaint. They haven't given the illusion of tights, they've just painted them an orange colour. They look of sort of a mustard colour on camera, but they are orange in person, believe me. And the boots are wrong. They should be sort of your traditional sort of biker boots instead of these sort of cowboy boots. But again, they're done rather nice. You know, we've got this sort of different detailing there, and they've sort of got a light grey wash on the top, and they get darker as you go down to the bottom there. But yeah, the detail is pretty good, and I must say that Character Options did a fantastic job with giving the illusion of the denim jacket. I really do like that. So comparing it to the original Series 5 Amy, you can see that the hair is a lot darker, and I believe that Karen Gillan's hair did get darker in Series 6 than it was in Series 5. So moving down to the jacket now, you really can see how well you know, a different colour really can highlight the sculpt of the jacket. You can see there that it's done much better, and I have to say that, you know, the denim figure really does pop, and it's a lot more brighter on the shelf. But yeah, that's the main difference, is really the hair, and obviously the face is a tiny bit different. Moving on to the 11th Doctor now, so we start off with articulation. So the head can move side to side, but is hindered by the collar of the shirt. The arms are ball jointed, much like the Oswin figure. I would do the same technique by holding the top of the arm and supporting the bicep joint, just to stop putting any added pressure onto the bicep joint, because over time that will bend and snap. We do have bicep swivel, what can do the full 360-degree turn. Bend at the elbow. We do have wrist articulation, but by doing that the hands do pop off, which is a common problem with the Impossible set. The waist can do a full 360-degree turn. Legs can kick out, but cannot move side to side because they are hindered by the coat. We have thigh articulation, which can do the full 360-degree turn. So taking a look at the 11th Doctor himself, so this costume is based from his appearance in the 2012 Christmas special, The Snowmen. Again, this costume did appear again in Time of the Doctor, but again he had his traditional bow tie instead of the tie. So taking a look at the detail now, so we start off with the head sculpt. Now the head sculpt is exactly the same as your Series 6 Matt Smith figure, what was first used on the Rebel of Flesh and the Almost People Matt Smith figure back in 2011. But yeah, the likeness, you can definitely tell that it is Matt Smith because of the iconic hair. Now what's quite interesting, the hair is done a bit differently. As you can see, it looks black, but as we lift the figure up, you've got sort of a brown wash on the back to sort of highlight the hair strands there. But again, I think that it should have a bit more of a brown wash over some of the hair, just to really highlight that detail a bit more, what we've seen on other Matt Smith figures. But I guess B&M are trying to make a bit more of a variant. We do have the parting there of his hair, which is done rather nice. The costume now, the torso, hopefully the camera will focus, we do have some pink stripes on the shirt, which is done really nice to give that sort of pattern detail. The tie is painted black. Now the waistcoat, this has been painted the more accurate colour, because this waistcoat did first appear in The Snowmen, then was used in Nightmare in Silver and The Name of the Doctor, and they last seen in Time of the Doctor. So they've painted it the black velvet colour, which is correct. We do have buttons painted there, but mine are painted a little bit dodgy. We do have the St. Christopher chain painted nicely there, and we do have a button which is painted very nice. So back to the top of the jacket now, we do have this nice fur collar detail all along the lapels, which again is really nice. The arms are done really nice. We do have this nice sort of textured look along there, which is done really nice. We do have a bit of piping detail which goes right across the arm there. And when I unboxed this figure, the hand popped out straight away, so I would have liked character options to have fixed that problem, because it is a common problem with the Snowman variant of the 11th Doctor. Again, to the top of the jacket we do have the fastening details, which again are done rather nice, and again we do have the sculpting of the pockets on both sides, and again we do have that nice textured detail. And then on the trousers we do have a button detail there, so if we just kick his legs out, the trousers are incorrect. They are painted a much darker brown, which I do prefer and is a bit more accurate, but in the sense that the trousers should be checkered, but because Matt Smith has such spindly legs, I don't think you'd get the checkered detail all on there. Again, we do have the nice creasing detail on the trousers to give that lifelike effect, and the boots are done rather nice, painted in a very much in the same sort of brown colour as the trousers, so they kind of blend in. And we do have a nice stippling detail on the boots, as you can see there, the sort of padding on the back, and we do have the laces sculpted there, which is rather nice. On the back of the jacket, if I haven't mentioned, we do have a nice seam of the jacket there, and the seams going along the jacket and creases to give that sort of where the jacket would fall. So doing a quick comparison now with the original Impossible set 11th Doctor, you can definitely see the difference in the jacket. As you can see, this jacket is a bit wrong and this one is wrong as well. This jacket should be about 2 shades darker than the original one, because it was this sort of purple brown colour. The shirt is done exactly the same with the same pink stripe detailing. Now the waistcoat, like I said on the B&M one, is more accurate because it was this black velvet. There, the chain is obviously a bit more different. They painted, give it a bit of a silver detail on the original one there, and obviously you can definitely see the different colour in the jacket there. And obviously by having it in a brighter colour, you really do get to see the different textures on the jacket itself. The trousers are more accurate on the B&M ones because they were a darker brown, not this very vibrant brown. The boots are different. As you can see, we've got these sort of differentiate the sole with that black gloss there to show the sole of the shoes. But yeah, I'm not sure which one I prefer, to be honest. I think I prefer the B&M one slightly because I do prefer the darker colour scheme, because obviously if Matt Smith did stay for Series 8, his Doctor would have got a bit more darker, and I think that this costume certainly would have suited that darker version of the 11th Doctor. Now you may be wondering, is the 11th Doctor's head removable? And the answer is yes. Just quickly do that, and you can do the head swap. So if you have the old 11th Doctor head and you want to display it, then you can. But if you have the original Impossible set 11th Doctor, you can simply just plug the head on. So there we have it, the 11th Doctor with his top hat on, and I have to say I do prefer that head on the B&M body because it looks a lot less garish compared to the bright purple look what the original Impossible set had. But yeah, overall, so what it's a good figure. On the 11th Doctor collector's set, well, I think that it's okay. I think that it's not as bad as what people make out it to be, but it does have some very interesting figures. I will say that I am surprised on how much I like the new version of the 11th Doctor, but personally I would have liked to have seen character options to have fixed for fault what they have with the existing figures, because what I've realised is that the Oswin figure has one leg bigger than the other, so that's why she doesn't stand up, and I would have liked to have seen them obviously fix that problem, because obviously standing up is an issue. And I would have liked them to have fixed the 11th Doctor's problem in the form of the hands, so the hands, every time you move them, don't pop out. So I would have liked to have seen them just try and rework that and sort of update the figure so the faults are non-existent. The Amy Pond figure, I really do like. It's nice to have a Series 6 version of Amy. Obviously, it's not 100% accurate, but it's the best what we can do with that existing Amy Pond figure. So overall, I think that this set is okay. I mean, if you haven't got the Impossible set, then this is blooming brilliant, because you get the 11th Doctor and Oswin Oswald, and you get an Amy Pond figure thrown in. So that, in that sense, it is worth the £16 or £17 price tag. But if you do have those figures already, then it certainly is a questionable set to get. I mean, if you are a collector, then you probably will get this. But I can definitely see this set hanging around on the shelf for a while. I can see this being a bit of a shelf warmer, to be honest. Obviously, this set doesn't come with any accessories, which is a real shame, because the 11th Doctor without a sonic screwdriver makes the 11th Doctor practically naked, which is a real shame. The Oswin, you know, I can kind of accept why they didn't give her the souffle just to make the Impossible set more exclusive. But I will say this, I am surprised on how much I do like these figures, because they are kind of improved in certain aspects of the paint apps with the face of Oswin, and the 11th Doctor is probably the most surprising figure in the set for me because, you know, he just looks rather nice, and the Amy Pond figure from Series 6 is a welcome addition. So this set, it's okay. So that concludes this figure review. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next figure review, which will be a review of the 12th Doctor set, and then we will finish off with the 1970 set. So thank you very much for watching this review, and I'll see you next time. So thank you very much, and